Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Talk Fort Dodge with Todd and Jeremiah. And today we have with us Barb Bickford Vonsak, the, I'm going to say, premier wedding planner in Fort Dodge. She does a lot of weddings and knows all about weddings. So welcome, Barb. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Good morning, you guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
I was thinking about this and I thought, I'll add a little humor into it. I was born and raised in Fort Dodge. Actually, I actually live in the same home that I grew up in. So I'm 64, so thought I'd give my age out, but I've been in this home for 58 years.
Wow.
I grew up in this house as a kid, and so we kept the house. So we raised our kids here. Lived in Fort Dodge all my life. Love Fort Dodge. I don't think I'll ever leave. I love it here. So, jobs wise, I started out the typical Dairy Queen. Most everybody started at a Dairy Queen. Then they went to the waitress thing, but not a whole lot of people after the Dairy Queen went to the Top Hat Lounge, but I did. And I was a shy gal before I went to the Top Hat.
You must not have been eating a lot of the ice cream.
No, I did not. I said I had to get out of the business afterwards. But actually, the Top Hat was my favorite job. I was not a go-go girl. I was a waitress, and the little Shirley Nelson was down there. She was a bartender, and I was really a bashful girl. I was shy, but she brought me out of my shell. And it was back then, the Top Hat was the place to go. Might still be. I don't know. I haven't been there. Joe and I met there.
I haven't been there forever. So you can tell everybody you met at the Top Hat.
We have pretty dull nightlives now, so.
and then, of course, I went to my premier job, which was Target. I worked at Target for 31 years and absolutely loved it there. But at age 55, God set me in a different direction and had me start my own business, which is wedding planning. Wedding planning and decorating. Yep. So in 10 years, I built that business way up.
Yeah. And great reviews. I mean, everybody, you come to, we've worked with you before and we've worked together quite a bit, and you do such a great job, and we appreciate having you there, and you just make it easy for us. So
thank you. I love what I do. That's for sure.
So a little bit more about your business. Being a small business owner is tough, but you started 10 years ago. How many weddings now do you plan a year?
Now, I'd say probably 30 to 35 that I'm actively involved with. I talk to a lot of people on the phone, just alone, so I'll give them advice. I love to give advice on the phone, and I always say it's free. Talk is free. But usually 30 to 35 now. When I first started, oh my goodness, we were probably doing 80 weddings a year, but we were part of the decorating. We did a lot of the decorating. So we pack the decor up, send it out, bring it back in, and stuff like that. Now it's more, we do the decorating and the coordinating now. So I'm going to say probably this year, I hope to have 30. Last year was a little bit.
Yeah, 30 is a lot.
We actually, gosh, Todd, I was trying to think of that this morning. I think I had at least 13 or 14, and a lot of them were out there with you guys, and started June 20th last year and ended on November 16th. So in between that, I think I had 15 to 20, and of course a lot of cancellations, but it was a learning curve for everybody.
And they were small. A lot of people did a really good job of keeping small weddings.
It all worked out perfect. It worked out. We were able to have their day for them. So, yeah.
Yep. So how many weddings total have you planned?
Oh, golly sakes. 400 some. I have a shop, and I've used to pin up the couple's pictures, and I ran out of window space through the hole upstairs. I used to make the pictures. And so now it's like I need to go back into my Facebook account and make pictures of all the brides and grooms that I've had, or couples, everybody. It's just, at least 400 interactions with different people, at least. Cool. So
when you're planning 30 weddings a year, are you just running around all crazy and wagging at times? Because like when my wife and I planned one, that was a lot on my wife and a little bit on me.
Well, with each client, we first meet. We'll meet. I'll meet with them. I always tell them I meet and I talk to them about everything that I do. I give them information about everything. So, like, if I'm able to get a client before they booked anything, I like to talk to them about venue, DJ, church, because I know a little bit about everything. I can tell that give them the advice for everything. But if they've already come to me, then I tell them about, like, because I know all the venues and how they work in Fort Dodge and around Fort Dodge, Humboldt, all them different places. So I know a little bit about it, so I can help them very much. But normally we meet, we get all the details down, and then their time comes probably 4 months before the wedding. We meet and discuss decor and all that. Then we meet again a couple months before, discuss timeline. And then, like, this week, I have my first wedding out to Cardiff. So I'm starting out March 20th this weekend to have one. And so this week is entirely that couple. So I just take care of everything for them. So no, I would say it's runaround week is now. So runaround Sue is right now. So I'll be running quite a bit today.
What is the biggest mistake brides make when they're planning their wedding? And grooms, I guess that they should be.
Sharing too much information. It's a world of Pinterest. It's a world of taking pictures. I always tell people when they're doing a Pinterest page to make that private. The other thing is, let's say, taking a picture of your dress. I mean, it's so easy. Everybody takes a picture of their dress, and they'll say, "You want to see my dress? You want to see my dress?" So they're showing everyone. And I'll say, don't show it to them, because everybody's always got an opinion. They'll say, "Oh, do you like that one?" And just remember, I always tell everybody especially when we're doing the wedding, I'll say, "Moms and dads, I want you to go hide, because you guys, I want you to look special too." So sharing too much information, because right now we have so many opinions out there. And I've had a lot of brides have hurt feelings because they'll say, "Well, do you really think you want to do that?" Or, so don't share too much information. Let it be a surprise for everybody.
Going down that road,
Awesome.
I was in one of my friends' weddings, and the priest, when we were doing the walkthrough the night before, he stopped everybody because she was kind of nervous about things and was like kind of uptight, and he looked right at her and said, "Here's the deal. Tomorrow we're going to practice everything, but it's not going to go perfect. It's not. Things are going to happen. A kid might scream. Somebody might fall on their face, but it's okay. It's all going to be okay. Don't expect everything to be perfect, and it will be. It'll be perfect.
It will be. No, and I'll always say that nobody's going to notice that. They'll if they do, they'll giggle. But that priest gave good advice, because I always say, this day is about you two, and it's all about what you want to do. So I just say, don't sweat the small stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
And like I said, that priest did give great information. That was a good calming point. So that was perfect.
Because I thought about that in every other wedding I've gone to. It's like, that was good advice. So
it was.
It always happens.
It was probably Monsignor.
What's the most important thing for a bride to find? Is it the venue? Is it the caterer? Is it the DJ? Of course, it's the wedding planner. Is it the church?
Yeah. I thought about that this morning, and I thought, gosh, because I have a list that I go through with the brides and grooms. So the biggest advice that I can give them, of course, if you can have a wedding planner, have one. Like, weddings have gone on for years without a wedding planner. I would have never imagined that my job would grow like it did. And I know there's big cities have them, and they're pricey. But if you can afford a planner, you have one. But just remember that. Well, the one thing I want to get across, the main thing to remember, that when you go into wherever you're booking, or if you're booking with me, remember that you're my boss at that time. So if I don't, we want to make sure that I'm treating you with respect, and then I'm doing different things and taking care of you. But so the number one thing when you're planning a wedding is to have your date picked. So, like, if you're picking an October wedding or June is hot, May is hot, October's hot. They're all, so I always tell you to pick 3 dates. So your number one choice, your number 2 choice, And lastly, hopefully you don't have to go to number 3. So you pick those dates, and if you have a planner, great. If not, then you want to check with family and who you're going to have in the wedding. Does that time work for you? Is Farmer Joe going to be in the field in October so that he can't, oh gosh, that's not going to work for me.
Is it the Iowa State football game?
I was just going to say
that is always yep, you're right. And thanks for bringing that up, because that's always the second weekend in June. And yes, you don't want earbuds during the ceremony with everybody going, oh, wow, guys, or whichever cycle. So good point. So that is always the second week in June. And I do know that, second weekend. The next one, so after you got that done, then you want to get your church and your venue taken care of together. So, because your venue ultimately is going to be the spot where everybody's going to be. So church, venue. Then I can put down photographer, because a lot of people have a special photographer they want. I mean, Troy Schroeder, telling you what, hot stuff there. I don't even know if he does as many weddings as he used to, but he sure is a lot of fun.
Oh, he is great.
Yes. But we have, a lot of people want a certain photographer. So, you want to make sure that they're available. And then videography is hot now too. So check those. And then lastly, I would say the DJ is, the 6th most important thing to do is pick the DJ. But if you have a DJ that you love, I mean, I don't know, there's a farmer out in Gowrie that a lot of people love. I think his name is Dean. But, so if you want Dean, you want to make sure that you're getting a hold of him. So those 6 things. After that, we can move to cake, and we can move to flowers and things like that. So the top 6 things are making that date together, and then venue, church, photographer, DJ. All those things have to be together before.
Would you say one of your primary jobs is to just kind of take the stress off of everybody else?
Oh yeah, stressed completely.
I mean, that's
Sean Ports is one of the gals I did their daughter's wedding, and probably the ultimate compliment that they ever gave me was people would say, well, aren't you nervous? Do you have this done? Do you have that done? And they said, nope, I have Barb, and I'm patting my shoulder on the pat myself on the shoulder on that one. But she says, nope, we have Barb. And then that group also gave me my own hashtag that says Barb knows best. So yeah, it's just stress. We take the stress off of everything. We just don't let anybody have any stress. We deal with everybody. We're at the venue and deal with everything. So
after 400 of them, you kind of know, it's not as stressful when you've done this 400 times.
No, it's not. And I never look at them and say, oh, I got it. It's a piece of cake. I like I had visited before, I've got this, but I explained to them, I do have it. I got this taken care of it for you. Because, the questions come up on the last week, and they're wondering if this is going to be ready, and that's ready. And of course it will be, but I won't say, well, of course I have it. But I just am kind and say, yep, that'll be taken care of. So.
All right. Yeah. Next questions Jeremiah came up with, so I'm going to let him ask them.
Well, they've even made like TV shows about this, the Bridezilla. So do you have any good stories of a Bridezilla or a Momzilla that you could tell without getting yourself in big, huge trouble?
I don't have a whole lot of them. Like I said, I have a fun personality, so we usually have a good time. But again, towards the week of the wedding, it does get a little stressful. I've had people come in and say, that this is the big questions. Is this done? Is that done? Is the cake person been called? Blah, 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 blah. So what I'm saying is like, yep, yes, yep, I have called them. I've got that taken care of. Normally it happens kind of in the beginning, like when we're talking like decor and things like that. I might have a mom and a daughter clash a little bit about decor. Like mom will say, well, we want these vases this tall or whatever, this high, which high decorations are great, but I always suggest low so we can see each other at the tables. But
your guests are going to the party to like converse with each other.
Yeah. So don't have a big old planter or whatever there they're going to have to take off the table anyway.
Absolutely.
But anyway, so let's see, going to lost my track. But anyway, so the mom will say, well, she wants these vases, and then the bride will say it kind of in different words, but so I'll paraphrase a lot. So I'll say, so what you're saying is, so it was mom said the same thing, but the daughter wanted to say it in a different way. So usually what I do with those cases, and that's probably where I run into the most trouble, was with moms and daughters. And I want to remind everybody that planning a wedding is, to a mom in some cases and a dad, one of the biggest things that they want to do for if you have a daughter. Like I said, I planned my daughter's wedding. It was probably the biggest thing. And I remember she and I snapped at each other a few times. And a friend told her, remember that this is a special time between your mom and you. So it's a special time between your groom and your mom, your dad, all of that. And enjoy that time because you don't get it back. So, but yeah, so now I handle those momzilla, bridezillas, but really have not had any bad ones.
Well, listening is what it sounds like. What you're doing is just listening. And I'm just going to tell you this real quick. Nate and I own the brewery, and I cannot tell. Once a month, we'll be going back and forth at each other, and I'll say,
"Uh-oh, did you freeze, or are you just looking at each other?"
I think he
giving
froze.
A funny look. I think he froze. Did you freeze?
I should be back now. Sorry about that.
Tell me about the.
Yeah, my internet's goofy.
Nate again. I wanted that story. What about you and Nate?
Oh, we'll be going back and forth and almost yelling at each other, and finally I'll say, Nate, we're both saying the same thing in a different way. We're arguing about the same thing with the same outcome. We just had to listen.
Yeah.
So,
it's like,
well, my mother-in-law might be really mad at me for saying this, but at our wedding, we had a big issue with the punch. She wanted to punch one way. That was the family, and she wanted to take care of it the whole night. But we also needed like 14 gallons of ice cream at the Opera House. It's like,
sure.
Let's just have normal punch. And she was like, no, we have to have the family recipe, and I'll fill it. It's like, we want you to have fun. And
who was going to do that? The mom of
yeah, my mother-in-law. Okay. She was going to take care of it, and we're like, we don't want you to have a job. So stop.
Oh yeah, exactly. And that's what I'll always tell the moms. I'll say, and so if somebody doesn't have a planner, I'll say, because when they meet with me, I always say, I want you to walk out the door and think about it. You do not have to, don't feel that you have to book with me. I usually don't take any money on the first trip. But I'll say, you've got to have that person that's a strong communicator that's going to take care of it. Yep. Because we don't want mom making punch on the day of the reception. No. We want mom out on the dance floor having fun.
Exactly.
So yeah, so you can do, like I said, and sometimes, many times, if they're just renting decor for me, I do the same thing. I plan everything. I'll say, who's taking care of those cards? Because that's one thing too, and people don't realize it. But when you have a gift card box or whatever, just remember, it's very important to have somebody keep those cards out of that box, because those cards do walk out of the venue. They do walk out. You never think that that's going to happen, but I remember going into the Starlight one time and was just meeting the bride and groom, because I had done, I don't know what I did, maybe tablecloths or something. I didn't do the whole thing. And I walked in, there was a bird cage just full of cards. And I finally looked at the dad and I said, ooh, I think you need to move that card box now, because you could have anybody could have walked in there and took a card. And it has happened. I've had a few people say that they've lost their cards. So very important to keep those. Yeah, it is terrible. You don't think it would happen, but it does.
Well, Barb, I think we have one last question for you.
Okay.
Have you ever done a wedding planning for anybody that you actually thought that it was going to fall apart later? The wedding? Jesus, I can't even ask the question properly. Have you ever done a wedding plan for somebody and know that it wasn't going to last? And you don't have to say names.
Not. Yeah. Okay. Barb and Joe Vonsak. I don't think that was 41 years ago. I'll tell you what, my mom and dad didn't think it was going to work. That's for sure. My dad did not think it was going to work. If he saw my wedding pictures, my dad was not happy. He thought, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to happen. Well, I've been proving my dad wrong for a while. You know what? I don't know if I could classify that. I know that it's going to happen. We live in a strange world right now. Lots of split ups out there, and that's, it's just the way it is. And it happens. But I always think to myself, if you, I always want to tell them, for an extra $200, you can call me for the rest of my life if you're seeing like you have trouble with, your spouse. Call me up, because I'll tell you what it's like. It's not real. It's not always happy. It's not like you see on TV. I said, you gotta, you kick them. You don't kick them, but you gotta show them who's boss sometimes. And it took me 40 years to show Joe who's boss in 1 year, and now he's fighting back now. So.
Oh, geez. He went from being trained to stray.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work, and but yeah, I know that it's a fact of life that some of them aren't going to work. So there's a few pictures I probably need to take down at the shop. It's hard for me to do that.
Oh, leave them up. What the heck? It's memory.
Yeah, there you go.
Either way, it's memory.
Because sometimes I'm planning the second wedding. So, and that's good. Repeat business is good. Repeat business.
Yeah.
It's like selling houses, repeat business.
Yeah, exactly. You guys know it. So, yeah.
Awesome.
So that's about it, I think.
Yeah, I think we're at our time too. So I just want to say thank you for being here with us today. It's a lot of fun. Make sure you share this. We'll share it on all our pages. So anybody didn't watch us live, they can watch us later. And
yeah, this is, you guys are doing a great job. It's just lots of fun. I love watching it, and it's just off the cuff.
Yeah.
So,
telling stories.
Well, thank you, and you keep making people happy.
I will. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Barb.
Bye-bye now.